Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page, where I have this nearly daily live stream called the Spiritual Roundtable. And it is Monday, June 24th. I had to look at the calendar. June 24th, Monday. I know. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Mine was pretty good. It was busy, though, right? I had to get a few things done for the magazine and such, and but it was good. It was good. I like the weekends because Paul's home, and we tend to get quite a bit done. But more importantly, we're doing things together, right? And one of the things he did that I was really appreciative of, and I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but he put in a new mailbox. The old mailbox, let's just say, it looked pitiful. It was just really pitiful. And so he went out, had bought the new mailbox and post and everything, but hadn't put it in yet. And but he did that on Sunday, and it looks really good. I should take a picture of it. It looks really good. Yeah, it's not crooked anymore. I kept telling him, this isn't good feng shui. It's not, the shui is not good. And so, yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys had a good weekend as well. And here we are. We're starting a new week, and lots of good things that are happening here at Star Nations. The weather here, I always tell you guys a little bit about the weather here in northwestern Wisconsin. It's cloudy. It's been cloudy all morning. It's a little cold. Our high is supposed to be 68, I think it is. And we're supposed to have afternoon thunderstorms. That I'm looking forward to. I love thunderstorms. And so I can't wait for those to get started. For the Gamisho Masay Nan, that is the Potawatomi word for, we call them the grandfathers, the thunders. And so, yeah. So anyway, I'm hoping they start while we're on. Before we get too far down the road, do you remember yesterday when I was asking you to sprinkle the live stream with your friends and on your news feed and that sort of thing? If we haven't come up with a better word, we're going to use that one again today. Yeah, we're going to sprinkle the live stream. And so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to sprinkle it over to my news feed just to remind my friends that I'm on live streaming. I'm live streaming. And then asking them to come out and play. There we go. There. It doesn't take too long. I got to plug my phone in. I'm almost out of battery. I should have charged it this morning, but honestly, I didn't even think about it. There. I got to try to. I don't want my phone to rattle on the table, just in case we have some messages coming through. All right, let's see who's in the chat. Do you see Georgie back there? Yeah. He's getting to be a big boy, isn't he? Yeah, getting to be. He is a big boy. He's 11 months old now, and he's probably over 70 pounds, 72 pounds, I would imagine, or somewhere close to that. I haven't had him weighed in a while. He's got long, lanky legs. He's a tall boy. All right. So let's see. Julie's here. Julie Shumway Hill. Hello, Julie. It's always good to see you in the chat. And Rob is here. Hello, Rob. Are you really here or are you not here? And Marie's here too. Sprinkled. Oh, well, I know. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Marie. Doing all that sprinkling. Rochelle says, hello, Neshi. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you here. Rochelle, give us a little update on how you're doing. For those who don't know, Rochelle did have knee replacement, and she's been on the mend, convalescing and doing her physical therapy and all of that. And so just asking to see how she's doing. Rob says, George, the pupiacious one. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Yeah, he's one of the good things about George is George is sleeping through the night. Now, I know a lot of puppies probably do that a lot sooner, but George would tend to get up like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and think it's time to play. And Paul would just take him outside, and so Paul's not getting up with him at that time, and George goes back to sleep. So he's actually sleeping through the night. Thank God. Yeah, because that was starting to get kind of old. All right, so just going to let everybody know that this is the card deck we're using right now, Spirit of the Wheel. It's a meditation deck, they call it, and it's by Linda Iwashina, illustrated by Jody Bergsma. Yeah, Jody Bergsma. And they're from Canada, British Columbia. And so we have the essence of that part of the indigenous people and the medicine wheel. And I have to tell you that, it's not that much different, really, than the medicine wheel that I'm used to, the interpretation of it. I've shared with you before that there is one medicine wheel, but there's many interpretations about it. There's 568 indigenous, federally recognized nations here on Turtle Island in the United States. And each one of them has a certain perspective, another kind of interpretation of the medicine wheel. And so, yeah, it's good though. It's good. What I've learned about the medicine wheel all these years, decades, is that it really is based on geography. So it depends on where, you connect with water, where you connect with the colors and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of based on geography. So it's very interesting to have the British Columbia perspective of it. And Georgie just laid underneath the table, so he's telling me it's time. It's time to get started. He's holding that energy for us. All right, so here's the first card that came. This is Ripe Berries Moon. Ripe Berries Moon goes from July 23rd to August 22nd. July 23rd to August 22nd. And it's all about life lessons, victory, and courage. And if you take a look at what they have depicted here on the wheel, it's all birds, those who fly, the winged ones, right? And notice how they have the 4 directions held. They're held by feathers, right? And in the south, they have the hummingbird. And in the west, they have the owl. The north, that looks like crow or raven. And of course, in the east is the eagle. Yeah. Very cool, the way they have the 4 directions depicted. The colors, though, the colors are interesting too. Black and red and white. I don't see any yellow on there, do you? Not unless maybe in the wings of the hummingbird. Oh, gotta get my camera to focus again. There we go. Life lessons, victory, and courage. Very interesting. So the author, this is what she shares about this particular Ripe Berries Moon. And she says, survival is the theme of the Ripe Berries Moon card. No matter what hardship life has recently handed you, This moon signals victory over adversity. And when I first read that, I thought, yay, yay. She says, past issues resurface because spirit knows you are now equipped to deal with them. And I have to agree with that. Truths avoided only resurface at a later time. Confront the lesson and release the burdens that stand in the way of your personal fulfillment. You know, we talk about this a lot, don't we, here at Star Nations? We really do. But I do have to agree with the author, is that different aspects of a trauma float to the surface, come to the surface when we are in a position where we're best to be able to handle them, to heal them, to deal with them, right? They float to the surface. And if we choose not to deal with them, and we push them back down, eventually they'll come out again in a different scenario. Maybe the players are a little different, but underneath it's the same issue that needs to be healed, right? Those are the times when we say, oh my God, I thought I dealt with this one. And technically, we didn't. We pushed it away. I know. But this card, Ripe Berries Moon, is telling us that that spirit is encouraging us, that when those aspects that need to be healed or addressed, when they come to the surface, that means that we're ready to deal with them, that we're capable of it, that we've done enough work to be able to face whatever that is, whatever it is for you. And you know, the way they phrased it is, no matter what hardships life has recently handed you, this moon signals victory over adversity. So in other words, we have what it takes to face it, to deal with it. We have the tools, we have the allies, we have the courage, we have the help from spirit. Everything that we need to be able to deal with what's come up, we have. And so it just is a matter of choosing to do it, right? It says that those born under Ripe Berries Moon has a very masculine approach, which comes across as incredible strength and stamina. This moon encourages you to explore your softer feminine side deep within and bring your emotions to the surface. Face them with an open, nurturing heart and express them with the strength and stability of the Ripe Berries Moon's influence. When you find this balance, you will feel an emotional calm and be able to hear the voice of your intuition. You'll have the strength and the courage to accept an abundant life for yourself, set an example for others, and owning your own power comes from accepting and creating abundance through gentle perseverance and the strength of will. So basically, what the author is writing about is the balance between our male and feminine sacredness, right? It's a balance between our head and our heart. That we need both, right? And that's another thing we talk a lot about here, is that when we use our thoughts and our mind in balance with our heart, our emotions, we're experiencing life, living our life from our high heart. And that is, I think, one of the things that us two-leggeds as humans are meant to strive for here in this physical life, is that mastery, mastery that brings us balance. And so this particular card, this first one, really is telling us that that we can handle. We got it. We can deal with what's come to the surface, and we don't have to push it away. You can. It's still your choice. It's still your choice. But Spirit's telling us that we have everything it takes to face the truth, right? Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Rochelle, I asked about her knees and how she's doing. She says she's doing okay. Today was my last home care physical therapy. Going to outpatient physical therapy next week. Actually looking forward to outpatient physical therapy. My knee hurts like an electric shot going through my kneecap. It will take about another 4 to 6 weeks of physical. Well, I think that's good. That's good. And I understand. Looking forward to going in for the therapy because, when it'd be for me anyway, that it's being around other people, right? And yeah, it's more social. And I understand though you needing to be home at first to do that because it had to have been hard to get around and for them to come to you for a few weeks, why not, right? So thank you, Rochelle, for sharing that. We're still holding you close. We're still got you in our prayers, and what I'm holding in my vision for you is being able to come and go as you please, and to be able to go on those hikes without any pain. To be a lot more mobile than you were before. That's my hope for you. Hey, Rochelle's here. Rochelle Ashley. Hello, lady. How are things going out west? She says, I always seem to be in tune at the right time. Yes, you are. It's very good timing, divine timing. It's good to see you in the chat, Rochelle. I'm glad you're here. Let us know how you're doing out west. I know that you're going for a certification in as a therapist, right? Horse therapy, equine therapy, or something like that. I can't remember the exact title. How's that going? Pat is saying, hello, Pat. It's good to have you here. All right. So this first card really is letting us know that Spirit is saying, you got this, And look, it's the 23rd stone in the creation of the medicine wheel that the author uses. And the 23 numerology, that's a 5, right? That's talking about change. And anytime we complete a life lesson, anytime we do that, and it's true, it takes courage. It takes courage to do that. And sometimes it takes stamina. Is that it does bring around change, right? Our life changes when we've learned a life lesson. It's meant to. When we complete a life lesson, on the other side of that experience is wisdom. It's all the stuff that we learned along the way, learning that life lesson, right? That we get to incorporate into our current life. And that's why it changes. That's why it shifts. And I have to keep clearing my throat. I forgot to take my my Zyrtec today. I can tell. It's that time of year, right? All the allergies, and I can tell. I should have taken it, and I didn't. Rats. So I'm just sipping water, and hopefully that whatever it is in my throat will go away. Michelle saying, yes, equine therapy. I can see you doing that too. I mean, I know your connection to horse and that closeness that you have, right, with your power animal. Or is it a totem for you? I don't know which. And to be able to help others, right? So are you working with children, with people with disabilities? Are you working with people in recovery, some sort of addiction or something like that? Because equine therapy, man, it can cover a lot, can it? People with PTSD, that therapy is really helpful too. So I'm saying yay for you, Rochelle, to be able to do the course certification and to be able to be able to use your gifts in that way, right? Yeah, those life lessons, I know, and there's victory in them too. And don't we feel good when we've reached a completion with a life lesson? That is a time to celebrate, isn't it? Um, yeah, it's a time to celebrate and to be grateful, to be thankful for the assistance that you received through it, both in the seen and the unseen, right? Um, for those that are in your life and supporting you, whether it's from a distance with prayers and Reiki coming your way, or for those that are close by that are physically with you, that can assist you with something. Um, yeah, and for those on our spiritual committee, right, who come in and they make suggestions and they show us, or bring in the next resource for us. Yeah, so there's a lot of gratitude in it too. hmm And just out of curiosity for those that are in the live chat, um, have you recently um, completed a life lesson, or are you in the midst of one? Because we've been talking about integration quite a bit last week. So I'm curious. I'm curious as to about where you're at, because we just don't have one or two life lessons, do we? We have several. We have many while we're here. Um, yeah, I was just thinking about how it's kind of like it's got a rhythm to it, doesn't it? You complete one, and sometimes it only takes a very short time to complete. Other times it takes, months or maybe even a year or more to complete. Um, and then when we do, we're in the integration piece to integrate the change and the wisdom and everything that we've experienced. And then when we're through the integration piece of it, because remember that one's all in divine timing. There's no clock to it. There's no calendar to it. There's you can feel it. You can feel it when that piece is done, um, and then we start the next experience, the next life lesson. Yeah, it is. It is a. It's like we're well, it's part of the wheel, right? It's part of the medicine wheel. It's our walk from the east to the west. All of our life lessons happen along that path. Um, yeah, as we work to master our mental thoughts and our emotions. Yeah. Julie says, I'm working on one. Good for you though. The courage to do it. Rochelle said, completed a couple of life lessons recently. I bet you did, because some of that, I bet, came along with the retirement piece, right? Um, yeah. And I hope you celebrate them, somehow mark the occasion. And when you're in the integration phase is really be very mindful of the self-care, right? Be very mindful of it. Rochelle says, I'm definitely in the midst of a life lesson. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah. One of the things I know for sure about life lessons is that it does take courage, right? The easy pieces, are definitely easier to do, right? Yeah. It's when it starts to get prickly and difficult, and when we have to do those pieces that make us uncomfortable. For some people, it's the confrontation, maybe, or the thought that something is going to become a confrontation. Um, yeah, that's when we start the resistance, isn't it? And that's when we make it so much harder on ourselves. When you're in the midst of it, yeah, it's not until you're through it and you're on the other side of it, and finishing up the integration, or maybe even on the other side of the integration, that you think, oh my God, had I just not resisted, I could have gone through that so much easier. That was me. That was me on that last big one that I went through. Hey, Tanya. Tanya's here too. She says, hi, Neshi. I'm in the midst of one. It's uncomfortable and challenging, and I can't wait to feel the relief. I feel stuck at times. There is that, isn't there? Thank you for sharing that, Tanya. There is that. When we're in the midst of that life lesson, and sometimes it feels like we're in the bottom of the dregs of it, right? And it feels like nothing's moving, or every time you turn around, it feels like you bump into a wall, and you're trying to get through it, right? Yeah, I remember that feeling. And in hindsight, in that 2020 hindsight, is when that's part of our resistance. Part of our resistance to the changes that needs to be done are that you have to address it to maybe another person, right? Because our life lessons don't occur in a vacuum, do they? There's other souls involved with it. Now, we're only responsible for our own side of the street, but that doesn't mean that that we don't have other people in our life lessons playing a role for us. I almost spit that out because I had a memory flash through. Years ago, it was my very first job out of when I got out of college. I was an academic counselor for one of our universities here in Wisconsin. And now I was a non-traditional student, which meant that I was older and I was married and I didn't live on campus. Okay. So my very first job out of college, academic counselor. And I was working with, and I was also a recruiter too for the university, recruiting Native American kids to come to college there, come to school there. And so I was working with a lot of high school students and freshmen, first year people in college. And my direct supervisor, he was something else. I mean, he was, in the beginning, he was kind to me. I have to give him that. He was kind to me. As long as you did exactly what he said, you were okay. You're good. You showed your loyalty, right? And as soon as you started questioning, then you were kind of put on notice. And so my experience with him was a huge life lesson in learning how to use my voice and standing up for others in a way, and myself, in a way that was not dramatic, right? To be able to use my gifts in a calm way. Now, you remember, I'm a triple fire. And back in those days, oh my goodness, yeah. And so, and since I'm a Sagittarian, there's also this thing about being truthful, right? And when it's wrong, and when it's right, no matter what's going on. So, yeah, he talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. Um, and so anyway, we ended up doing in a confrontation. Now, I didn't know at the time that he was recovering from PTSD from Vietnam, and that he was really had been in and out of in care mental health situations. I didn't know that at the time. So that was my first time. I was dealing with somebody, a supervisor, who literally had mental health issues. And yeah, so a whole huge life lesson in that one. And talk about having confrontations, right? Confrontations where you had to be the calm, collected one. That I had to be the calm, collected one. Yeah, that to express my my anger and my fear in a calm way. Yeah, I was 28 years old. That was the beginning of me getting a handle on and the mastery over a triple fire, my own triple fire. Holy smokes. Pun intended. Holy smokes. It was a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. But I look back at that now, and I really did the very best that I could. And I was giving tobacco. I was calling on my spiritual team. I was looking for, that's when he would have been the chair, the director of our department, became my mentor and helped me navigate through the academic politics of things. Yeah. And so, taught me a lot. It really did. I look back at that and I think, my God. I mean, I remember standing in a stairwell alone with my supervisor. And at the time, it didn't even occur to me to be afraid. It didn't even occur to me. Not until afterwards. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about academic politics. I learned how to survive that. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that situation. So, Tanya, I know what it feels like to be in that really a dark space when you feel like you're by yourself, that you're alone in it, and you're not moving forward, and you can't go backwards. You don't want to go backwards. It's so painful to try to go backwards, back into a situation. But what I can do is tell you that um, is to have faith. Have faith in your spiritual team. Lean on them. Talk to them every day, multiple times a day. Right? Yeah. And to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Right? Yeah. Because you will come out of it. You will start the trajectory. Did I say that right? Trajectory up. You will. And these are the times to ask yourself those really tough questions, those really hard questions. If you are in resistance to something that needs to shift or change, why are you resistant? Right? Why are you resistant? And you don't have to tell it to anybody. You just have to be honest with yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that when we're feeling that friction, that rub between everything, especially when it's between when you really, really want to be right and you really want to control the situation. Yeah. Just know that you really aren't in control of anything. When you think you are, you're in the least amount of control of anything. But it's that friction. It's in the friction that is our soul growth. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. We should have